So this is part two about racism and dating in the Dominican Republic and other parts of Latin America like Colombia, Brazil, and so on. So both Spanish-speaking and Portuguese-speaking countries, and you also see this in Asia as well. So previous video, basically, I talked about how a lot of families pressure the girls to like have lighter skin babies, get with a white man, preferably, lighten the race, blah blah blah. And what you also see is expectations when dating. Like, even if you do date a darker skinned person, they expect the darker skinned person to do more to prove that they're worthy of being with their daughter or son than a white person. Like, a lot of times, white in itself is its own currency. And I'll say this, like, basically, when I've seen, and you see this on both sides with both men and women. Some families will pressure their boys to get with a lighter skinned girl. You don't see it as much, but you still do. And then you also see the women definitely pressure to, mejorar la raza, refinar la familia. Tú tienes que tener niños que salen blanco, bonito, refinado. That crap. A good example is I've seen where the women are a lot more obedient towards a white man. Like, they'll jump through hoops. Like, basically, I've seen, and this is crazy, like, I've seen, like, girls basically act like slaves to some of these guys just because he was white. Like, to the point where I saw this one white man, he had his wife working construction, like literally mixing concrete, laying bricks, doing all this other stuff that that if it was a black man or another Dominican man, she would not be doing. She'd curse the guy out. And it was nuts because, like, this guy, even though he has money, like, he had his wife work like demeaning, I wouldn't say demeaning jobs, but like, most guys are not going to have their wife doing stuff like that, and then while they're basically sitting there drinking iced tea, and basically, like, she was doing more physical labor than he was. And like I said, some people say that's okay, but me, like, to me, that's like, the guy was doing it as a means of, like, I'm over you. You're a slave working in the field for me, and I can come get some of that pussy whenever I want to, that type of thing. And some people have a fetish of that. And I've seen a lot of Haitian girls, same thing, where a lot of Haitian girls, they try to have a baby with a white man, particularly Canadian or European. Like I said, a lot of the American white guys, they take care of their kids, but I see a lot of Canadian guys and a lot of Germans and Swiss that will abandon their kids in a minute. I don't know what that's about, but so it's not all white guys are the same. I also see German guys take care of their kids, but a lot of times you see a lot of these German guys pimp a girl out, and she'll go with it because a white guy's doing it. Like, some of these German guys will have a Haitian girl, basically sleep with the entire group, and do all types of meaning, ghetto gaggers type of stuff. And it's okay because a white guy is making you do it. And I know a few girls, associates and friends of mine, Haitian girls that have babies by white men and do nothing but fight with these guys because these guys don't want to take care of their child. And I'm like, well, why did you have a baby by this guy? It's like, well, my family told me if I had a white guy, my life would be better, but I'm finding out that it's a lot worse. Like, he always wanted to treat me like a slave, and he wanted to urinate on me or use the bathroom on me and do all types of things that I wasn't comfortable with, or have me on camera and have sex with his friends, and so a lot of guys do deviant stuff. So they're fed this lie that these guys are better based on their skin color, and they get treated like sex slaves or physical labor and stuff like that. And this is the sad truth. And I'm not saying that black men and Haitian men and Dominican men and Colombian men and Brazilian men don't do these things, but in all honesty, I've seen it a lot more living abroad. That certain groups of people get away with a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying any type of abuse basically is wrong. So whether whoever's doing it, abusing women, I'm not a fan of that. But I see that a lot of families will tolerate things because they feel like there's a greater reward, if you let a white guy do it. And there's that perception where, white is better. In reality, you shouldn't let nobody abuse your daughter. So whether he's white or black, or whatever, Latino. And like I've seen, Haitian women really go through it, or Dominican women, really go through these horrible situations because their families have, basically brainwashed them that, you have to have a white baby, you have to get with this guy. And I've seen some girls catch, diseases that they can't be cured, just because, some of these guys are just doing these, awful things to them. And in their mind, in that moment, my life will be better. If I just put up with it, this white guy's gonna take me to Europe. This white guy's gonna take me to Canada. This white guy's gonna take me, out of this place. But they end up in a worse position, and now they have a child by this man, but yet they still have to work the street. Now they have to give their bodies to more men, which is sad. I mean, it's really sad, but at a certain point, you have to take responsibility and not be ignorant. But also, you can't really blame the victim because they were brainwashed into that mentality. But, there's a lot of, white is right in Latin America. And I see it, every single day. Like, it's nuts. Like, hey, he must be better because he's a white guy. Like, and you can see sometimes where, like, girls won't even pay attention to a black guy or another Haitian guy or a Dominican guy or Colombian guy. They go straight to the white guy, and they're very demeaning to any other group of people. They try to cater to the white guy. Like I've seen this in restaurants where, like, and I remember this one Haitian girl, and she was really, really cute, and she actually liked me. But her friends actually told her, and she later told me this, because I still got with her anyway, but her friends told me, like, you don't want to be seen talking to any of the black guys in front of the boss, because the boss says, you should only talk to white guys, and this and that. We're not here for those, slur, because, she spoke English. And, so she talked about, like, how her boss was like, you're here to cater to the white guys. Like, I don't care about, the black guy's business or anything like that. And, luckily, like, when she moved into town, she eventually found another job because she just felt very uncomfortable. And she felt like she was pressured to, like, do things. Like, the boss tried to nudge her in the direction to do things with some of the clients that she was not okay with. And like I said, a lot of these older guys, like, to them, they view these girls as, like, pieces of meat to fulfill some of their sick fantasies. And by sick, I mean, like, and for whatever reason, like, in Europe, like, I don't know what it is, like, about using the bathroom on somebody. Like, that's disgusting. But and the funny thing is, like, I've heard that story, like, so many times, like, not like 5 or 6 or 7 times. I've heard the same story dozens of times, that, like, a lot of these European guys, like, I don't know if it's like a cultural thing or whatever, about, like, using the bathroom on women, but that's kind of gross. Not kind of, that is gross. But, and a lot of these girls, like, don't want to be porta potties, but some girls will tolerate it because their family told them that, hey, it's a white guy, if you make him happy, he'll take you to his country, and we can live out of this poverty. Move out of this poverty. But that's basically it. Not everybody's like that. Not everybody is racist and bigoted, but I've seen a lot of girls that, and even like the Afro-Latinas, so you would think that, hey, it's just the girls with the, the straight hair, this, that. Like, I see, like, a lot of girls that and this is the interesting thing, like, they try to make sure that their African features are pronounced because they know that's a fetish for a lot of the European guys. So themselves, they'll wear the curly hair, they'll wear the afros, but they don't want to be around other black people because they know that that's a sexual fantasy for that man, that he wants a black woman that he can sexually abuse on command, and they're willing to, to tolerate that for what they perceive will create a better life for them. And it's sad, but I mean, what can you do? Like, they're consenting adults. Will it ever change? Who knows? I mean, maybe in a few decades, maybe in 100 years, who knows? But the key thing is the racism in Latin America is it's something that has to change in order for people to progress, because you can't just be with somebody just because of their color and then expect good things to happen without seeing the content of that person's character.